I'm Sarah Calburn, I'm an architect. I've been in private practice doing mostly houses for about 15 years, mostly this kind of middle to upper end of the market. And 3 years ago started a new practice called Space Matters with Dustin Tuznovich, who's an Austrian architect. And this practice really specializes in looking at community architecture, or architecture that works on lower cost bases. But a guiding philosophy of that practice really is that just because something needs to be cheap it doesn't mean that it needs to be either ugly or oppressive. The competition is we've called it the MiniMax house because we are looking to again challenge the hegemony, I suppose, of the absolutely awful RDP house, the small matchbox with a pitched roof, the little building that has no urban ambition whatsoever, that literally is the kind of nucleus of a future slum, very, very often, that provides no urban ambition. Really, I think the words that we are interested in with this competition are urban ambition. How do we build healthy societies? And so the MiniMax house is a house that sits into the RDP bracket, 50 square meters or so, but one that is at once most minimal in terms of cost, in terms of energy, in terms of material consumption, the production of materials, and so it's minimal in that sense, but it's maximal in terms of maximally comfortable, maximum urban ambition, maximum style, maximum beauty, everything we want from architecture. Well, I think what we'd like to do is establish what the range of ABTs is on the market, and then have various architects and students, because students are very often freer in their design mode than architects, look at the ways in which these materials can be used to maximum effect. So we're not looking to reproduce small boxes with pitched roofs. We are looking to produce objects that will be globally architecturally recognizable. That's the object. In a sense, the object is to present, is to start getting the Department of Housing to look at alternatives. And to change people's perceptions. I mean, there's, part of the reason that ABTs seem to be experiencing a difficult uptake is this oft-quoted business of people. Well, people won't accept it. People don't want it. They want bricks, mortar, and a tiled roof. Well, you see, I don't necessarily agree with that. I simply think that there are no alternatives provided. And why shouldn't someone aspire to an extremely modern house? Why shouldn't someone aspire to a flat roof that they can use? Why shouldn't someone aspire to the rest of Johannesburg? To the highest level that design can bring. As far as I'm concerned, design is not a luxury item. Design is actually good, really good design is something, is an everyday object, actually. And a house needs to be an everyday object that can embody good design. South Africa needs to realize, it's all very well talking about ourselves as Joburg as a world-class city, but Joburg is not a world-class city until it takes on its very own particular fears and paranoias and translates those through design into experimentation and really start to become a city that is not unlike any other city. Currently, we mimic other cities at our peril, and we roll out these terrible acres of either fortified gated settlements or totally unprotected, fragile settlements, which are the RDP acres. Those things are fragile. There's no infrastructure. If we talk about the real meaning of green architecture or eco architecture, as far as I'm concerned, that is not so much an architectural statement as it is an urban statement. For example, you will never achieve the triple bottom line with cities that expand till kingdom come at a very low level of density on the land. So I think a lot of the excitement about these particular ABTs is that they do allow very easy densification strategies. So this is part of the MiniMax house. The MiniMax house is not necessarily a freestanding house. It could quite easily be a component in a multi-story block. I think it's very important that the results of this competition are, if they're good, of course, and we hope they will be good, are exposed. Too few. There's a lot of experiment. There's a lot of work going on in this country that's actually highly creative, and it is not often seen in public. And I think Sasol's got a beautiful opportunity here to really showcase what can be done with a stable of new materials.